Today we are in the town of Lynch and headed up to the highest point in the Bluegrass State. Hi, I'm Skye Marthaler. Welcome to another episode of Rooftops of America. Today, we're in Harlan County, Kentucky, the home of Black Mountain, the highest point in the state. Black Mountain is part of the Cumberland Mountains section of the Appalachians and is located in the southeastern part of the state, next to the Virginia border. Geographically, these peaks sit on the Appalachian Plateau, and they were formed in the Paleozoic era. Now, while they're rugged, the real defining geological characteristic of this region isn't what's on top, but what lies underneath them. It's the rock underneath that has defined this area's history in modern times. The coal in this region was formed during the Carboniferous period, over 300 million years ago. Coal mining started here in the 1800s, but it wasn't until the early 20th century and the shipping of coal by railroad that the area turned into a boomtown. Black Mountain and surrounding communities are intrinsically tied to the rise and fall of coal. This here is the town of Lynch, and it was founded by the mine owners in the earliest 20th century. This company town quickly soared to over 10,000 people and became the largest coal town in the country. This boom cycle caused friction between the miners and mine owners, and it was exacerbated by the Great Depression. Conflicts between the two parties would come to a violent head in the 1930s, in what was known as the Harlan County Coal War. Strikes have been going on between miners and mine operators for decades, but by the early 1930s, the Great Depression hit this area hard, and things came to a head with a series of violent confrontations between the striking miners, strike breakers, the mine company security forces, and local law enforcement. The main issue at hand was the rights of miners to organize for better pay and working conditions. In May of 1931, deadliest escalation occurred in the nearby town of Everts. A group of miners ambushed a carload of company men. In the ensuing gunfight, one miner and 3 company men lost their lives. The incident became known as the Battle of Everts, and in the aftermath, the Kentucky governor would activate the National Guard to put down the strike. This was far from the end of the conflict, as violence and casualties on both sides would continue to roil the county until 1939. In the end, it would be one of the most violent and protracted labor disputes in American history. Bloody Harlan has cast a long legacy over this area, and tensions between miners and mine operators have never really dissipated. Violent confrontations would erupt in the ensuing decades, most notably in the 1970s. Even today, coal continues to cast a shadow over Black Mountain. In the late 90s, Coal Corporation submitted a permit to strip mine several of the surrounding peaks. The community, appalled, rallied to protect not only the mountain, but also their natural heritage. Eventually, the state of Kentucky stepped in to protect the peak. Now let's turn our attention to Black Mountain. It'd be easy to think you were at the top of the peak going by this sign right here. But the real summit is actually on a road right over there. Let's go check it out. While the state of Kentucky may own the logging and mineral rights on the summit, the mountain itself is private property, owned by Penn Virginia Resources. So if you want to gain access to the peak, it is required for Highpointers to sign and mail in a waiver. From a Highpointer perspective, Black Mountain can best be summed up as a missed opportunity. The state hasn't done that much to recognize their highest point. As you're driving along the way to the summit, you'll come across this impressive structure. It's an FAA en route radar system, and it is the most definitive landmark on the road to the summit. Once you reach this point, It's just a short drive further before you can park your car and hike the rest of the way. At the gates right here, it's just a short walk up this trail behind me to get to the summit. But before we proceed any further, remember to print out, sign, and mail in your waiver for site access. This is private property. Also, when you do come, bring a copy, just in case. Let's go check out the summit. Antennas and their attendant buildings populate the summit. The old observation tower has fallen into disrepair and is no longer accessible. And here we are at the summit of Black Mountain, the highest point in the state of Kentucky. Coming in at 4,145 feet makes this the 27th highest state high point in the USA. I'm Skye Marthaler. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Rooftops of America. I'll see you soon.